It's showtime.
Don't call it a comeback!
I killed 18 men.
Can I do it again? I am like someone else.
By the time you realize who they are,
Stack, especially in the back, brother. Wanna thank your mother for a butt like that.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm John and this is Matt, and today we're going to be wrapping up our X-Men reviews. We're going to be doing, I guess, all the spin-offs. We're going to be doing Deadpool, Deadpool 2, Logan, New Mutants, Dark Phoenix. We're going to be banging all those out today. But before we dive into that, if you are a fan of movie reviews, 4K Blu-ray reviews, TV reviews, tech reviews, game reviews, we try and do them all here on the channel, and nothing helps out more than by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So basically, as you guys all know, the X-Men timeline is just a jumbled up mess.
I give up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, luckily for us, we had Ryan Reynolds come along, and after his debacle in the Wolverine Origins movie, he decided that, hey, we're going to try and make a Deadpool movie. So he actually dropped some footage that they had made together just to try and get some hype around it. And then eventually they did make a Deadpool movie, which is personally one of my favorite, if not my favorite, of the entire X-Men franchise. But what did you think of Deadpool?
First of all, Deadpool's in this universe, to me, I think Deadpool's are easily the most enjoyable movies. They're more of a comedy, you know. I think they are miles ahead in enjoyability. Just because you get so freaking confused with these movies, and half the time I don't know what's going on. I don't know what timeline I'm in, and it's just a clusterfuck, really. Like, you have no idea what they're doing. Like Ryan, like he made the joke, he was just cleaning up. What was that? Was that Logan or
no? That's Deadpool 2 in the post-credit scene. He's like, "Sorry guys, just cleaning up the timeline."
Cleaning up the time, yeah. But still, like, it helped a little bit, I guess. But still, like, what movies didn't happen? You know, I guess, well, they're alternate timelines, so they all happen in different timelines. But what is canon now? So X-Men 1, 2, and 3 are just out the window now?
I really don't know, because
I have no idea.
Because at the end of Days of Future Past, those characters are there. Like, we even see Jean Grey back. So did they erase 1, 2, and 3? But then in this canon, like, even Deadpool makes a joke in Deadpool when, like, Colossus is taking him. He's like, "You're going to see Professor X." He's like, "Which one, McAvoy or Stewart?" I don't get the timeline.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Same thing with Apocalypse. Like, at the end of Apocalypse was the one where Logan wakes up or something, right? And then the only one who knew was Professor Xavier. That's
Days of Future Past.
That was Days of Future Past?
Yeah, that's still
I don't fucking know. It just...
Well, this one gets really confusing, especially with Deadpool, Deadpool 2, and then Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix takes place in 1992. That is 8 years before the first X-Men. So I'm supposed to buy into James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender sometime in the next 8 years, aging into Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart? Like, I just don't believe that. And at first, that also doesn't make sense either, because how much do James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender age from First Class, which is in the 60s? It's about 32 years.
Yeah.
Which is your entire lifetime. And you went from a baby to looking like shit in 32 years. So how did those guys stay looking great in that entire time?
I have no idea. Like, Dark Phoenix, it doesn't even say X-Men in the title, I believe. That's almost like an origin story of Jean Grey, sort of. Like, you know, it should have been just labeled Origins Jean Grey or Dark Phoenix or whatever the hell
That's
it was.
the second time they've tried that storyline, because they tried it in Last Stand too, and the guy who wrote Last Stand directed Dark Phoenix. So it's like
he tried it again. Yeah.
It's his passion project, and again, he didn't stick it at all.
You know, this is the first time I watched it for we're talking Dark Phoenix. This is the first time I watched it was for this review. I remember you saying you were dreading it, I'm like, whatever. I know I picked it up for like $8 on a Black Friday on 4K a while ago. So that's saying something right off the bat. It didn't do well, I know that. Didn't absolutely hate it. I didn't think it was a complete waste of time. But again, I'm not in a rush to go see it again. I don't want to go watch it again. But it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Well, I didn't say, I hope this is over soon. But
no, it really wasn't. I mean, what happened with this movie is unfortunate. This was the last movie to come out before the Fox merger, and it kind of just felt like they just threw it out there.
Well, it got delayed a
bunch.
For that and New Mutants.
Yeah, well, they also had some reshoots at the end, the entire thing, and the train wasn't in the original shoot, so that all got shoehorned in. But you could just tell, like, people are fawning in. And I remember people, when they saw the trailer, saying, that's where Jennifer Lawrence dies. And then when I watched the movie, that's exactly where she died. So people knew in the trailer.
So that was another thing is Mystique. She was young. She died. But what happened? She was old in X-Men 1 and 2, and like, what the hell?
Different Jean Grey. I mean, different Mystique, I assume.
Forget everything you know, I guess.
Well, that's just because Jennifer Lawrence didn't want to do these movies anymore, so they had to so they got her out in the first act.
I was listening to Kind of Funny, and because I was listening to their reviews of it, and they kept saying, forget everything you know, and they were mentioning that, like, how she was, like, each movie got worse, and like, because she didn't like doing the makeup at all.
Yeah, so she didn't.
So each one, and I remember Nick Scarpino made a joke at the last one. There was just one little brush of blue on her face, and it just implies that she's Mystique. Just a little piece of blue under her eye.
She really just hated putting the makeup on. Like, and you could just, it really does, it's true. He's completely right. If you start in First Class, and then you end at Dark Phoenix, and you just watch those movies.
Less and less. Yeah.
Less and less makeup. Like, and that's kind of pointless, because the whole point is that they're trying to tell her, is, oh, you should want to be in your makeup, and like, you know, you should want to be the regular Mystique, because in the original ones, we only really see her as Mystique.
Right.
We never see her actual, like, you know, the Rebecca Romaine actual self, only when she turns into other people.
Yeah.
So Jennifer Lawrence just really hated it. So when she died, I was like, I knew that was coming.
Right.
But Dark Phoenix is definitely the worst of them. And then I think New Mutants, which is another one that got thrown out, was a little bit better.
So again, I went into New Mutants completely blind because at the time I wasn't following it. I didn't really have any interest in it. And I picked it up again for this review. This is my first time. And I texted John about a quarter of the way, because again, I went in completely blind. I had no idea what was going on. I said, is this a horror movie? And he's like, yeah, I wanted that to be a surprise. I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, it was definitely different from all the others, and it has almost zero connection to the rest of the franchise. I mean, I think there was a couple throwaway lines where they mentioned the X-Men, and that was about it, but there was no overlapping characters. And that accent from the Stranger Things kid.
Oh my god, Charles. All of them.
Yeah, they all had accents, but why?
I don't know.
What's the reason for the accents?
I don't know. And the worst one was Anya Taylor-Joy, who's a phenomenal actor. But this movie was filmed in like 2015. But like, the way that she's speaking, I'm like, is she doing a Brooklyn accent or a Russian accent? I'm like, I don't know what it pops in and out each time. I'm like,
a Russian from Brooklyn.
A Russian from Brooklyn. I don't know what the hell was going on. Just the acting was bad. There were some cool scenes though. Like sometimes, like when that demon guy came out in the pool.
Yeah,
that was cool. I really did dig that.
Well, I think that was supposed to be his.
Well, that's his power.
His ex-girlfriend or something that he burned or some shit like that. I think the whole movie was basically that. What was the girl's name? Danny.
Yeah.
Right. So her power was she makes everyone, I guess, realize their biggest fear or something like that. So she was in everyone's head, and that was his fear was, I guess, because he gets hot or something when he gets horny. I don't know what it was, but so he burned his ex-girlfriend, and so he saw her in the pool when he was going to chase the other girl that technically I don't even think was there.
Anya Taylor-Joy, yeah, she pops up later and like it comes back and she's like, I don't know what's going on. She played that part like she was just nasty from the beginning to everybody. Like, I don't understand that.
It was an okay movie.
No, it really wasn't the worst. It really felt like it was more ambitious than it actually ended up being. It was clearly an allegory for conversion camps. It just wasn't. It just wasn't good. I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, if you go in looking for an X-Men movie, you're gonna be disappointed. But if you're just looking for a generic horror, maybe thriller movie, then
it's the best you'll get.
Yeah.
But the best movie in this entire 5 movies that we watched is probably Logan. Now, it might not be the most enjoyable, but it is definitely the best movie. It's very well made. You get that R rating with Wolverine. Finally get to see the old man Logan storyline,
which Ryan Reynolds also takes a jab at.
Oh, when he does, he has it. He spins it. He's got him dead on the rock in the fucking Deadpool 2.
But he's like, yeah, they stole our R rating style or whatever, because Deadpool 1 was the first one to have the R rating, and then he said, oh, they copied us, and then
he had to go and die.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna die too.
He couldn't die. Yeah, Deadpool was the best of them.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, he's a fucking gem.
Yeah.
I love Ryan Reynolds. he is Deadpool. You know, he's perfect for that role.
Perfect casting. It'll be his best role when he died. He's unbelievable. He makes me like, I like Ryan Reynolds a lot, but sometimes his whole shtick can get like, it can be too much for me. Like, I don't really like those movies that like he comes out with those, like, you like The Hitman's Bodyguard or R.I.P.D.
No, I didn't really like The Hitman's Bodyguard. No, I
Like,
was upset that I didn't, because him and Sam Jackson, Salma Hayek, I was very excited for that.
As much,
I was like, I don't need it.
as much as I love him, like, it's just weird. Like, certain movies, it's like, okay, it's just too much for me, and I don't know why, but like Deadpool, it's perfect.
I off the top of my head, I want to say that's my favorite Ryan Reynolds movie.
It's either that or I really am a fan of Waiting.
Waiting's good.
And Van Wilder.
Yeah,
like, you know,
those are good.
He's got some stuff in there. Oh, and Just Friends is another one. Or
I never saw that.
Or is it Just Go With It? I don't remember. But he's got a good Christmas one with Anna Faris that is really good. But for the most part, other than Deadpool, those are his best movies, and they're hysterical. They really are just comedies. They have some of the best jokes, some of the best comedy you'll ever.
There's just some great action scenes too.
Oh yeah, and the first one was made on a $58 million budget, which is even less than the first X-Men from 2000, which had like 70 or 80 million. So it's really crazy what they were able to do in that movie. And then obviously the music in it. You know, for me and you hearing some great 80s tunes.
Yeah.
It'll always do it.
I like the Taxi Driver too.
Oh yeah, Dopinder or Dopinder?
Mr. Poole.
Yeah. I love that. I love the scene like where he's like talking about his cousin and he's like trying to tell, wow, he's in the trunk and he's like, okay, good job. He's whispering.
Even T.J. Miller is awesome in those.
Oh
movies,
yeah, he is great in those.
Because I like him from Office Christmas Party.
Yeah.
He was really good in that movie also.
Yeah, and he had a run on Silicon Valley on HBO too for a while. He did pretty good in that. But again, back to Logan, I still think that might be the best as far as like having Patrick Stewart come back. But that's a standalone movie, and I mean, like you said, you didn't think it was that. That is just that's just telling the old man Logan.
So that doesn't connect to anything either?
No, they do bring up the Statue of Liberty thing from the first X-Men, but it's supposed to be like on its own. Did you pick up that they're saying that Patrick Stewart killed all the other X-Men throughout? I don't know if you picked up on that. They're hinting that that's where all the other... That was the big incident that they keep bringing up, and that's why they're on the run and hiding, is because Patrick Stewart has no control of his mind anymore. He's basically getting Alzheimer's. Gotcha. So, like, his mind is so powerful that it's causing all these problems. He's the reason why they have that whole problem in Vegas. Then he has to go around, and he puts his fucking claws through that one guy's head, and you see him come through the other side. Ugh, fucking brutal.
Yeah. A rated R Wolverine movie is exactly what we needed.
Mm-hmm. But great movie overall. Just great. They're all pretty good, except for like New Mutants and Dark Phoenix. Those I think are actually the two weakest. Maybe that or Last Stand is pretty bad. But anyway, enough of us talking about them. Let's talk about these Blu-rays.
Alright, so I guess we'll start in release order. So first we have the original Deadpool, which I just recently upgraded to 4K for this rewatch. And this is a fantastic 4K. So I went with this and the Disney Plus stream. I compared them one for one. I went back and forth and compared a ton of scenes. And the audio, you're not beating the audio on a disc. You know, this has a Dolby Atmos track, and you will never get better audio from a stream versus a disc. That's a fact. Now, as far as the video goes, the stream on Disney Plus does have Dolby Vision, where this does not. The Disney Plus stream has the Dolby Vision, where this only has the HDR10, I believe it has. It's very, very close. I think the Disney Plus stream was a little darker, but that's the Dolby Vision. I think the Dolby Vision is a stronger HDR. But overall, I went with watching this on the disc just for the pure fact that the audio was worlds better. It still sounded good off the stream, but you're not beating the compression, the uncompression of the disc, because it just... This is a great Atmos track.
It is. It
sounds really good.
I did the same thing you did. I upgraded for this video. I bought that. I had the other Blu-ray, which is in the exact same case, which I'm always disappointed with. Yeah. But, yeah, no, the Atmos track on that is killer. And like I said, it's a loud action movie with some great music. You're going to want the Atmos track.
Right. And then next up we have Logan. And I've had this for a long time, but actually this is the first time I opened it. It's been sealed on my shelf for a while, and this is the first time I watched it. Now, this does also have Atmos,
So Blu-ray.com says that this has a Dolby Atmos track on it, but
but I can't find it anywhere that it says Atmos. It does say DTS 7. Master Audio 7.1, so this is probably just a DTS track. But this is a nice little release here. Is this how they all came? You have the same one?
I have that same one. It's a beautiful slipcover. This is actually, so this is from 2017, and this was my first 4K. This and Unforgiven.
Really? Yeah, this is a super nice 4K. And now also, did you watch, this has a black and white noir
I watched this.
version.
I watched that.
Really?
Yeah, I watched that. It was my most recent viewing because I believe it was trying to throw it back to classic, because this movie is based a lot on Shane, the country movie. The Western film, which they're actually watching at one point in this movie. And I feel like they were trying to throw it back to old Westerns.
Right. So
and it has that feeling to it.
This has 4 discs. So you got the 4K version of the color movie, you got the 4K version of the black and white, then you have them both on Blu-ray. So you got 4 discs.
And a digital copy on there.
And a digital copy.
And it's usually not that expensive, right?
No, I don't remember. I got it for Christmas. And then it's got all these photos in it, too. That's Logan from the original X-Men.
Yeah.
That's in the cage. That's movie 1. This is movie 1 also. That's the...
Well, you see how they're shot, like in an old-timey kind of film?
Yeah.
Like that's what they were going for with this whole movie. It was like this like old Western feel.
Oh, look, and you can even, on the back, you can put a poster together.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think Logan, as far as the filmmaking, I think is the best in this, probably in the entire X-Men franchise. It's directed by James Mangold, who directs some great movies like
Look at that fucking body on him.
Yeah, like I said in our last video, similar to my body, obviously he's got fortunate enough to have nicer hair.
He put in a lot of work for that body, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't have the same regimen. What I like to do is, personally, I like to eat as much as possible and work out for 15 minutes a day max. And yet somehow we come out similar.
Very close.
Very close.
But anyway, this is a super nice release. If you can still get your hands on this one, this is probably the best version of Logan there is. I mean...
I don't even know if there is another release. I'm sure there's a release just by itself.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still a thing. But that is a super nice release. Next up, this is the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook version of Deadpool 2.
With the slipcover.
With a slipcover, yeah. And it's got all your information on the slipcover. And then it's got that cartoony little Deadpool look. Cartoon, you got Cable in there. I forget her name.
Domino.
Domino, okay. Nice red steelbook, and then there's a ton of discs in this one too. This has got 4 discs also. You got the 4K, you got the super duper cut on 4K.
Which I watched, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not as big a fan of the super duper cut as I am of the original theatrical.
Really? I think the super cut is better.
Really? They swapped some jokes out that I really missed from the first one, so I always will watch the theatrical cut.
Really?
Yeah, they do add some stuff, like they got the one where he's wearing the tropical shirt with the wig, but I prefer the theatrical cut, personally. That's me personally.
I don't remember the differences.
Yeah, like they took some jokes out, like during the Dolly Parton sequence when they're playing 9 to 5. They took some stuff out, some jokes that I really missed. And when he's reaching around and he grabs the one guy and he touches his dick, he's like, Scoutmaster Kevin? That's one of my favorite jokes that's not in this.
Yes, it is.
Are you sure about that?
Positive, because I remember that scene.
Oh, well, there was a joke that I know specifically that I loved that they took out, and it kind of bothered me. So
really?
I won't go back to that, yeah.
Interesting.
It's like the Anchorman thing where they kind of have a whole different cut.
And so there it is, Dark Phoenix on 4K. I picked this. I remember this was like $8 on a Black Friday.
It's probably worth $8.
So that's why I picked it up at the time. It does say X-Men Dark Phoenix. Why did I think that it didn't say X-Men?
You're talking about the actual title card in the movie.
Maybe that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got your slipcover. It's an okay looking cover, I guess. It's all right.
It's literally ripping off Star Wars and the Force Awakens.
Your basic Blu-ray and your 4K disc. Cut that.
No, you don't want to leave that in. One thing that they captured with the HDR that really they really captured was that early '90s feel. They did nail that part of it. Even like the way they shot it, the lighting, it felt early '90s. At least I could say that.
Yeah, this has regular HDR 10. Actually, no. This has HDR 10 plus, and it has Dolby Atmos. Ah. So it's not a bad disc. I mean, all of these 4K discs are great. If you like the movie, then it's a home run for you. But these are definitely the best ways to watch these. Specifically, Logan. That's a great disc. Also, I mean, they're all great discs. All the 4Ks. None of these are bad 4K discs. I want to make that clear. It's just some of these are bad movies.
Yeah, that can affect the disc, but the disc itself, I'm sure that's good. I watched it on the Disney Plus stream, and that was fine. And actually, I had to watch New Mutants, which you're about to bring out right now, on Amazon Prime on a horrible stream.
Really?
Yeah, I wish I would have bought that.
Because this looked really good, actually, especially with the HDR. Now, it looks like they took a step back. All it says is just regular HDR. So there's no HDR 10 Plus, there's no Dolby Vision. It does have Dolby Atmos. It sounded great. You know, this had a pretty good soundtrack to it. You know, especially for a horror movie with an Atmos track, it's pretty cool. I would have liked Dolby Vision in this. It would have helped for some of the darker scenes.
This is the definition of let's dump this out, because this took like almost 6 years to get to actual be viewed.
Right, yeah. You got your Blu-ray, your 4K. Again, I think Dolby Vision would have helped this because for some of the darker scenes, but it still didn't look terrible. As for the movie goes, you heard our thoughts already. It's not the worst movie in the world, but it's also not an X-Men movie in my opinion. Like, they throw away a line about the X-Men and those accents. Oof.
Yeah, it felt like Glass in a way. Like how they're the only people in that place, just like how in Glass they're the only people in there.
It was a small cast.
Small cast, small area. I was like wondering why nobody else was working there. I mean, they explain it, but it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it was... I don't know. I got a little frustrated. I mean, like I said, I love Anya Taylor-Joy. But this must have been her just working the kinks out, because the acting and the accents, oh my god.
Yeah.
So anyway, that'll do it for us here on our X-Men conversation. That's the end of it for us. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you let us know what your favorite X-Men film is in the comment section below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for being here. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And you tell all your friends. That actually got it.